Hello and welcome back to my studio. It's Lois here from Lois and Morgana Davidson Art, and today I'm revisiting one of my favourite line and wash paintings, this beautiful cabin high up in the Tatra Mountains. The line work has been created by using waterproof fine liners first to put the outline in and some of the darkest shading, and then the paint just provides the mid values and the white of the paper gives us our lightest lights. This is the photograph from Pixabay that I was inspired by, and I shall leave a link to that in the description below. You can see that I haven't followed it exactly, but I've just used it as inspiration for my painting. I really love the forced perspective as we look up at the cabin, and I'll be trying to get that in my painting. The first thing I'll do is sketch it out in pencil and then go over my pencil sketch with my waterproof fine liners. I'll speed this up because it can be quite a long process getting the drawing right and then going over the drawing with the fine liners and then adding in some of the darkest darks with the thicker fine liners to create some shading. You can see the structure of the painting coming together as I put in my tonal values and use hatching, cross-hatching and some scribble shading here. So just a few more sort of textural marks and shadows on the hut itself, and that's the line work finished. Just letting it dry completely, and then I shall begin to paint it using the wet in wet technique. I'm using a 2-inch Princeton Neptune synthetic squirrel brush, and I'm wetting the sky all over, and then I shall wet the land but leaving a few dry patches, because then when I add my paint I'll get a mixture of soft and hard edges. As I add the paint to the wet areas they will diffuse and soften, but if I scuff the paint over a dry area I might get some dry brush or some harder edges. The colours I'm using today are raw and burnt sienna, burnt umber, some sap green and perylene green, and a bit of Payne's grey for my darkest darks. Now I'm painting in my sky with a mixture of cobalt blue and cerulean blue. Just keeping it a nice fresh colour with some clouds. Using a large mop brush, leaving a few little gaps for the clouds between the paint brush strokes, bringing that paint down across the mountain in places. And notice how I'm using a pale version of the sky colour to paint over the rocks to get them started. And then continuing to work around the rest of the mountains, just building up tone and colour. I'm using my palette knife to scrape through the rich paint in places. This will give me texture. It will also give me some highlights. Just a nice grey colour over those distant mountains on the left pushes that part of the land back a bit. Then using my 3/4 inch flat brush just to bring in a few more brush strokes across this mountainside on the right. Just trying to spot where I think I need a little bit more tone or a little bit less tone. I can sort of lift a bit of paint out if I want to and add more to the shadow colours. And now for the cabin, we put some nice dark brown over the cabin with burnt umber, a little bit of blue added to that and a little bit of burnt sienna to get it nice and dark. And I can put a little bit of shadow under the eaves and then a lighter brown on the roof. Trying to keep a nice weathered look, but keeping it very much in shadow on the gable end and light on the wall. And that's just about done now. I'm going to remove the tape and have a look at it, see how it looks with its clean white border. But I hope you can see how the line work structure that I put in first has really helped to carry this painting. And I think I've achieved the forced perspective of looking up at the mountainside and got a feeling of how steep it is as we look at the cabin. So I hope you enjoyed that demo. Let me know what you think in the comments. Line and wash is one of my absolute favourite styles, and I'm hoping to do more in the foreseeable future. If you enjoyed the video and found it useful, then please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already. And if you click on the bell icon, you'll be notified whenever we post. And many thanks to all our supporters on Patreon. I'll see you again soon. Take care and happy painting. Bye.